fear. On the blood moon, we all unite. Horses thunder in the night. No longer slaves to the empire's might. Strength in numbers, strength in right. On the blood moon, we unite. Horses thunder in the night.
Welcome, Patriots, to another episode of the Cowboys and Indians Podcast. Today, Steve is out and about on vacation with his family, so he will not be joining me today. I am your host, the Native Patriot, and with me today, actually, we're going to have two guests, but the one guy co-hosting with me today is my former co-host and the co-creator of the Patriots Prayer Network. This guy is, I would say, one of my best friends, and we are building a beautiful network together, and I'm excited to have him on tonight. Eddie, it is good to have you back, man.
What's up, brother? What's going on?
Well, man, there's been a lot going on. I know that if you guys tune in regularly, 2 weeks ago, I went down to Texas and went to Range Day with Donut Operator and Brandon Herrera, along with Steve, and we had a great time. There was a slight problem, though, is that the new memory card that I got with the camera, I don't know if I've told you this, Eddie.
No, I didn't hear this story yet.
It got corrupted. All the footage is that whatever card, or the SD card, I think it's called.
SD card. Yeah, SD card.
Yeah. So everything seemed to work fine there. But then when I got home and I tried to upload it, all of it is like an error code. I can't upload anything. So I don't know what's going on with that.
I can get the footage off of it.
All right, cool. But so it seems like we lost a lot of the footage, which is not great. Maybe Eddie can help me out with that. But
I can definitely get the footage off of it.
Cool. So we'll work on that. But I had a great time down there with Steve. He was generous enough to host me at his house, and I built a little teepee outside as a joke. No, I didn't really sleep in it, but yeah, that was a lot of fun down there. Texas is a weird place. It got me nice and sick. I don't want to say that it was. Everybody said that it's like the crud, but I think it was just something like COVID, because I had a fever, horrible body aches for a week. I'm still not feeling 100%, but I'm almost back. So I'm sorry I missed the show last week, and Steve is on vacation this week. So hey, it is what it is. We all have lives to live and things to do. But I appreciate you guys tuning in today. A whole bunch of stuff happened in the news that we haven't really gone over, but plenty of stuff to fill up the show today. But Eddie, how have you been?
Well, dude, Christmas is coming, and so we got together yesterday as a family, and they baked we have this tradition of baking these sugar cookies every year, and so I got more sugar cookies than I could shake a stick at, probably at least 1,000 sugar cookies in the house, literally 1,000 sugar cookies in the house. So the girls, they all got together, my daughters, my wife, and everybody, and it's just a family tradition, man. We look forward to each and every year. So yeah, I took them to work. I'm going to be giving them away for the next 2 months. Just so many damn cookies.
Yeah, my boss today, he made sure to tell me that I needed to get back to the shop by noon. And I got back there, and they had a ton of cookies, and they had a bunch of I don't even know what kind of meat it was. It was pretty good though. It wasn't steak, I know that, but so I had a bunch of that.
Check out the comment, dude.
Where have all the Cowboys gone? Yeah.
Remember there was a song in the 90s by Paula Cole, and it was called "Where Have All the Cowboys Gone," which is what they're referencing. I know that was not going to be. You weren't going to get the reference. I knew you weren't going to get the reference.
I'm too young.
But
although I listen to a lot of old music, I mean, I don't know.
I think it went something like, "I will do the dishes You pay all the bills. I mean, you would have liked the song. It was a shot at feminism. I'll tell you that.
Oh, nice. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, the Cowboys are gone right now because, believe it or not, Eddie is just as much native as I am. He may not look it. He looks like another one of those white men, but
White boy.
yeah, one of them white boys. Even though I'm half white, you could never tell just by looking at me, but I am. Maybe it's the facial hair that gives it away, because I've gotten ragged on X here and there saying that natives can't grow mustache or facial hair. It's like, well, they can. It's just, dude.
No, honest to God, I can't.
I was 30 years old before I could grow this. Okay, it took me a long time.
It looks terrible on me. I tried it. It doesn't look good. I could pull out
a little bit of scruffle.
Yeah, I mean right here, but all this kind of comes in patches. This comes in patches. Mm-hmm. There's like little patches and that sort of thing. My dad couldn't grow facial hair either. He long hair like you his whole life, but yeah, no facial hair.
Well, look, so I haven't shaved in like a week. Right? You see all this? I get like 30 hairs. I get like 30 hairs over here, and like 20 over here. So
that's a blessing, dude. Don't wish. Telling you start wishing for that, you're gonna be shaving every day, and it's not what you think it is. Because
I shaved like 3 times in high school.
I come in. Mine does like that, but I have to. But like I said, it grows in funky. So I carry my not that they're sponsor of the show or anything, but get in contact with us. Some Manscapes. I keep my Manscapes. I love those things. They work great. But I keep them with me everywhere I go. I'm going to have them with me. I'll have them with me at the inauguration. Actually, you'll see them.
Oh. All right. So, moving on to a little bit of the news that has happened. Trump has said that Canada should be the 51st state, that we should take over Greenland and Panama, have the Panama Canal. The funniest thing about this, about Trump just kind of going off, is that he's not even the president yet, and he has everybody freaking out that he's wanting to take over the world, basically. And it's like, that's not how it is. It's just, in all reality, we've been taken advantage of by so many other countries for so long because our politicians have been complicit in selling out America so they can line their own pockets. And that's how it's been for decades. And every politician that has gotten into office just kicks the can down the road, saying that these problems are going to fix themselves, or it's somebody else's problem down the road. My job is to get reelected and to enrich myself. And that's been the mindset of our politicians. That's why we have over $36 trillion in debt. And don't get me wrong, there are some politicians that want to do evil, but most of the politicians that we elect have just been enriching themselves, and those who try to actually enact change are kicked out of the club. That's why Trump is he's an anomaly. He's one that kicked the door in, and he's gonna make changes happen.
I'm gonna take the juxtaposition here on this one because of the spending bill, the CR bill. Right. So the CR bill comes out, and the CR bill has some things in it that the media just completely glanced over and didn't talk about. But in the CR bill, which is a continuing resolution bill, for those of you who don't know, when they don't pass a spending bill and that time of year comes, what happens is a CR bill goes into effect. Well, they tried to put a 1,547 page CR bill together. And in that was a resolution that Congress could not be investigated unless Congress approves the investigation into Congress. And beyond that, there was $80 billion more for Ukraine. Obviously, they want to send more money to Ukraine. We can't help our own people, and then $100 million more for LGBTQ, whatever. It just made no sense to me what they were doing. But here's the crazy part. So Trump counters with a 110 page bill. It was very basic because they wanted to get in the office and then renegotiate the rest of what was going to be spent, because obviously Doge is going to be in there cutting the hell out of departments. What's the point of funding departments that aren't going to be there? But they when they did this, the Republicans voted it down, and the reason why the Republicans voted it down, believe it or not, was because Trump removed the spending ceiling on the bill for 2 years. Now, I love the guy. Wear his hat, his little signature right here. Love the guy. I absolutely love the guy. I disagree with raising the spending limit when we're $36 trillion in debt. I don't know where his head was at with that one, but
you know what they say, Eddie? You got to spend money to make money. Now, is that a valid argument when we're $36 trillion in debt? I don't know. It's tough to say, but I mean,
but how much of that debt's going to be made up when we kick all the immigrants out and we delete all these departments with Doge, and we don't have any more elected bureaucracies? Like, Trump appoints 3,000 people. There are 3 million people that work for the federal government that he doesn't have any control over, only the 3,000 that he puts in place. So
you know why he wants the spending limit canceled? Is because he wants to be able to enact as much change as possible as quickly as possible. And the only way to do that is to be able to up front, they're going to spend more money in certain aspects. And I'm not saying that, I mean, so far every politician has just added to the debt, including Trump. Trump, when he was in office, from 2016 to $8
trillion.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of that came from the COVID spending bill, but Trump was, he was complicit in that in a lot of ways. He kind of let the experts handle exactly what was going on. But we're going to need a radical
there's more
new.
To that, though. There's more to that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's a long story.
Obama removed 40% of our military and started disarming us. So Trump had to fill the coffers again, and it took a lot of spending to do that. It wasn't that he added $8 trillion to the debt. It was that Obama omitted, rearming the United States and that sort of thing. He was busy disarming us while everybody else was arming up with, these hypersonic missiles and all that, and were surpassing us. And it was crazy that Obama let that happen. And that was Bill Clinton. And of course, Nate Kane, who's part of PPN, was part of blowing the whistle on Hillary Clinton for selling the uranium to Russia for Russia to be able to actually create those hypersonic missiles. And Bill Clinton sat on the board that sold them the technology to do it. So it was the Clintons. Once again, it's the damn Clintons in Obama.
I mean, yeah, I take a lot of issue with what they did. And I mean, especially with what Biden has done these past couple of years, there's a lot to unwind. And I think the main thing that I'm excited about in all reality is the fact that we are going to be able to expose what's been going on in these past couple of years, because it's the government in our role has reversed. It has been, we are supposed to be private citizens. The government is supposed to be filled with public servants. Well, what's been happening is the government's been operating in secrecy behind closed doors, making shady deals, while the American public has been surveyed. Every movement, every purchase, every transaction is all documented, tracked, and we are no longer private citizens like we should be. We don't have the privacy that we should, because the government, instead of being a representative of the people, by the people, for the people, they have become this tyrannical ruling state that believes that they have to control the American public. And whenever that happens, tyranny ensues, and that's what's been happening. And that's why we've experienced these massive gains is they've put us in a tremendous amount of debt to the point where it almost feels like we have to have some government in order to kind of figure out how to move forward beyond this, right? Even though we have people like Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy creating Doge, that's going to radically change the way the American public views government, because they've been wasting our money intentionally in order to put the American citizenry in debt, and they, of course, create the problem so that they can be the solution. And that's what they've been doing for a very, very, very long time, and it just needs to end. So we need a radical change. Not just in government, but I mean, in our mindset and how we see the government's relationship with us. what we allow as private citizens who are supposed to be what make up the government, and what the government is supposed to be doing as far as protecting our rights and ensuring that they're not infringed, as opposed to being the ones that want to give out rights or impose their will on us as private citizens.
We lost it. I mean, we lost it. I mean, it's not that
Yeah.
we just kept giving ground and giving ground and giving ground. And the government is supposed to be by the people, for the people, and of the people. And it's become a government of the government, by the government, and for the government. And that's the way that they look. You got like BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street. There's a bunch of these guys out there that own 51% of everything. BlackRock was responsible for the drones, some of the drones that were going over the East Coast. And they also shorted the Trump stock by $360 million right before the assassination attempt. And then when they bet on the stock to fail, because it happened, it literally happened, very sus.
Oh, I know.
And then when it didn't happen, they got a refund. If you and I call a stockbroker today, Maurice, and we say, I want to put option on XYZ stock, and we lose. We don't get to call our stockbroker and get our money back. But they
make the rules, man.
They did.
Of course they did. Yeah, it's a joke. And they'll be exposed. I have faith.
What's up, Dragon?
That a lot of this
Caroline for Congress. How you doing? And then there's of course there's there's the obvious. And for those of you who follow X, and a lot of you do, you saw the conflict between our buddy Bryson Gray and this guy Misfit Patriot.
Oh, right? This was a good one.
So I don't want to get into the part about, we're going to touch on some of it, and you can't help but I want to touch on the reason behind it. And the reason behind it was this: Bryson Gray is a black and white, the book says what it says kind of a guy. And we talked to him, we had him on the show. Maurice and I interviewed him, and he's very much like that. And I was looking forward to it because I am very much like that myself. He took a position on the LGBTQ community. Somebody that was friends or himself in the LGBTQ community ran up to him at the AmFest and asked him about it directly to his face. Like, do you got a problem with it? Well, biblically, yes. And then instead of the guy being a man, he punched him in his face and ran off. And listen, I don't care what you do. You're not going to get me to come up off of what I believe and what the word says. And it's never what Eddie thinks. It's what the word says. And if you disagree with it, you're not fighting with me. You're fighting with God. But at the end of the day, Bryson has a lot of people who dislike him, and it's because he doesn't come up off his positions. And the reason why I like him is because he doesn't come up off his positions, and neither will I, for the same reason. And if that means that people don't like me, I get it all, because of the Patriot Prayer Network, right? I got a text message, a DM, not even probably 15 minutes ago. When do you pray? When do you pray? What do you, people say that kind of crap all the time. And let me tell you something. It's every day. It's when I wake up, before I get out of bed, before every decision I make. I've literally put my life at risk by taking a position that I'm Christian, against some people that I guarantee you 90% of people wouldn't have did what I did in the position that I was in, even when I was in prison. And they would have taken the easy way out, and I didn't. And Bryson doesn't either. And I respect the hell out of him for doing it. And no matter what people say, I think that it was embarrassing that a Christian got into a fight with another man for any reason at all. But I understood very much so the reason why he did what he did and why he said what he said. And I would say the same thing. If Misfit
Well,
Patriot runs up on me tomorrow, I'm going to say the same thing. Biblically, I disagree with the LGBTQ community. I disagree with it.
I kind of think that this is the fight itself wasn't all that bad, and they were in a gravel parking lot. They
Wasn't
they
intended to
didn't
be
do
that
it wasn't, but it wasn't intended to like do great physical harm on either one. I don't really see a
Nope.
I don't see it as a huge negative if two men decide to fight it out in the parking lot. I mean, it's respectful to the owners in a way. They kind of made it a spectacle about themselves, but in all reality, I mean, this isn't something that this is better than duels and what they used to have. This is better than running out to the parking lot and grabbing a gun, going back and killing the guy like we
Oh
see
yeah,
a lot.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, this was a disagreement between two men. They stood up for what they believed in, and they went out and swung at each other a couple times. Nobody was seriously hurt. Nobody was, you know, I don't see it as
wasn't all
bad at all.
manly.
It's mute.
It wasn't
No,
all manly. He kicked him in his
it
balls.
wasn't.
And it kicked him in his balls, and then there were rules made before the fight happened as far as what you would and wouldn't do. And then he told his own friends it didn't matter. And that, so I will say that Bryson, fought like a man, and the other guy did some shit that you just don't do in a fight, period.
I don't know.
Ever.
He kicked him upwards. I don't know if it was intentionally meant to be. It was more like he got thrown on the ground or lost his balance, whatever it was, and then he went to go kick him off of him and got Bryson in the groin. Which, in all reality, I don't see any of that as bad. First of all, Bryson left himself open for that. If he was going to do a ground and pound, he should have just went full mount entirely instead of standing over him like that.
He had the
He gave him
opportunity to, and he didn't take it because he didn't want to hurt the guy. He hit him one good time, and then he was like, if I keep going, I'm going to hurt him. I'm not going to do that.
He should have stood back. He should have stood back and let him stand up. If they want to brawl it out, then brawl it out. Once they fall, let them get back up. But I mean, these rules aren't supposed to be. It's not like he did something incredibly cheap just so he could get more shots in on him. It's like once that happened, the fight was over. The disagreement was over. I don't see this as all that bad.
Well, there was
in
more
any way,
to
shape, or form.
That wasn't the only one. There was another. So
what I do see as bad is them talking shit afterwards. And both of them saying that they won the fight and this and that. And it's like, that drama needs to stay out of it. If you're going to settle it. And then don't speak about it afterwards, talking shit, saying that, you're the better fighter or whatever. You guys already fought. And it was embarrassing for both of you, it looked like, in all reality. So at that point, it just needs to be dropped. We don't need this middle school drama crap. Whatever transpired between the two of them, they need to leave it be and let all the internet folks handle it afterwards. You can defend yourself in a certain way. Maybe make one comment afterwards, say, hey, you know what? We settled it out in the parking lot and it didn't turn out the way that I wanted to, but it is what it is. That would have been a way better response. And it would have actually helped keep their dignity because in all reality, they don't really have it right now. I don't think either of them do. And I mean, if you wanted to go down the rabbit hole of what initially caused that fight, because I believe that Bryson Gray has certain stances on LGBT. He says it's a sin, and I mean, obviously it is. But and then Misfit wants to basically say that he has gay friends or he's gay. I don't know if he is or not.
Something about his buddy or something. I don't remember the whole thing.
Yeah, and as you guys know. I've befriended some gay folks as well. And the reason I have is because I may hate the sin, but I'm going to love the sinner. And I'm not going to, there's so many sins that it is impossible. There's no way that, for one, I sin. And for two, I'm not going to try to save everybody and say that I'm above that, because the Bible talks about drunkenness. The Bible talks about the way that you'll lust after another woman. So if watching porn is a sin, then I mean, there's different levels of sin in a certain way. You know, you can't be the judge and just in that particular way. Like, this is something that I actually kind of disagree with Bryson on, and it's not the fact that he calls it out the way that he does. It's the way that I'm going to treat gay people. Like, look at me and Scott.
But
Pressler,
he didn't.
right?
He was approached. He was having a whole separate conversation. He was approached. He didn't go looking for the guy and that sort of thing. The guy ran up on him. And
yeah, he wanted attention. He wanted to create a spectacle out of this. It sure seems like, you know, he wanted some kind of recognition for beating up Bryson Gray for having his opinion on gays. But like, I've met Scott Pressler. He's gay, and you know, I hung out with him quite a bit. But the thing is that I'm not going to call that out in a particular way, the same way I wouldn't call out you know, people over drinking or something. Now, obviously, if you're going to drive, I'm going to say, hey, don't do that. But everybody's going to make their own choices. And I have my own beliefs. There's biblical beliefs that I believe in, but I can't go to everybody just judging the shit out of them and saying, I'm not going to associate you with in any way because you participate in this particular sin, even though like Scott Pressler, he's done a ton of good work. He has done, you know, he registered so many people. And one thing that you guys need to understand is that the MAGA movement has grown significantly and with open arms to the point where we accept a lot of people that participate in sin that aren't going to be living biblically like we should. But the best way to teach this is to lead by example. The best way to prove definitively that living biblically is the way to go is to live that life as best you can. And of course, spread the word, but you don't need to be getting in a fight over this just to say that your stance is correct. Even though I will say that I think that they handled it in an appropriate way. They went outside, they fought it out, but now they're kind of acting like you know, their egos are hurt, or their egos are very, very fragile because they're talking shit about it.
He addressed it and then said that's the last time I'm going to address it. He just said what happened and that was it. But here's the thing: the rule is this. This is actually the biblical rule. If you call yourself a Christian, you open yourself up to judgment from other Christians. That's the reason why I could go into the UMC church and the Lutheran church and call them out for ordaining gay ministers. And I brought scripture with me to do it. And if you look back in the older podcast, you'll see me doing it. And I wore a camera as I did it. And that's the reason why was because they were claiming to be Christian. Now, if they weren't claiming to be Christian, I don't got nothing to say to you. I'm only talking to my brothers and sisters. That's it. That's it. At the end of the day, that's it. If you don't claim to be Christian, then what I'm saying is not for you. Now, if you say that you are Christian, well, then guess what? You've just opened yourself up to every bit of criticism that I'm going to give you. And according to Corinthians 5:12, I'm supposed to give it to you. But if you ask me to my face,
in a like brotherly love sort of way, as long as they have that respect.
The first two times. After the first two times, there's rules. After the first two times, then you're supposed to say, okay, if you catch your brother sinning, like let's say you're having an affair on your wife, right? And we go to the same church.
Well, we shouldn't say that. Don't even put that out into the world.
Okay. You're drinking too much. All right. So I come to you and I say,
yeah, let's go with that.
Maurice, you're drinking too much and you're going overboard with it and you need to stop. And if you say no, now I'm supposed to bring you to me, you, and the pastor. And we're supposed to approach you. If that doesn't work, we bring you before the congregation. And then if you still refuse to change, we excommunicate you. That's the way Christianity is supposed to work. That's why you've heard me say it a million times. American Christianity, to me, is not Christianity. It is a version of Christianity. Christianity is much more hardline than the Christianity that's practiced in America, which is God is love. No, God is not all love.
We have multiple generations of soft parenting going on that and overall acceptance of everything and anything, which has led to the point where you're not even allowed to say that things are biblical and that's a sin. Really quick, I wanted to address what Dragon McGroin said here. He said, "What happened to having respect after a fight?" And I think the issue is that they stopped the fight prematurely. Bryson probably should have just toughened it up after a couple minutes, and they could have finished the fight.
No, they did. They did.
They did. They did. I thought that was the
did.
end of the fight.
No,
Oh,
no, they did.
Oh.
He recovered, and then they were like, "Dude, you weren't supposed to do that." And the guy, and then the guy turns around and tells his friends, "I don't care about none of that. All rules out the window." Blah blah blah, and that's how that went down. But yeah, no, that's it was that's how it went down. And so I mean,
that's interesting.
So just like you said, that to me is the same as, I mean, you're being a pussy, right? You now all of a sudden your pride's got in the way of you saying, I'm going to be a man, and I'm either going to win or I'm going to lose, and I'm going to stand up. Hey, you're the better man, and I'm going to walk away, and that's going to be the end of it. The old Eddie would have said, okay, the hell with it. Rules out the window. Okay. And then everything is.
No, you don't want that. You don't want rules off the table. That's why people, who get into a simple bar fight will run out to their car, come back and shoot everybody there. Like,
I've been there.
That's all rules out the window. That's not good. If you want some kind of honor or respect, then you should respect the rules. Or, once he kicked him in the balls, just say, "Hey man, my bad. I was just trying to get you off me. I wasn't trying to kick you in the balls." And then continue fighting.
It's very gay.
I don't know what happened.
Gay thing to do. Very gay thing.
Yeah.
Very, very, very gay thing to do.
He just had to touch his balls. That's what he wanted to do.
I don't know how else to say. I mean, if that's how you got to win the fight, I mean, it's a very gay thing to do.
Yeah. All right, you guys. I think we harped on that. I just
want to say this before we leave that, Bryson, you have way more people who stand behind you than you think, brother. A lot more people who stand behind you than you think. And the people who hate you are the same people who hate everyone else, because Christ said they hated me first. So you're not alone. And any Christian who wants to walk that life should expect it. They should expect that people aren't going to like them, because I'm seen as we just had a Christmas party the other day, Maurice, right? So we had bought out the entire Palms Casino Hotel, the whole Ghost Bar, the whole thing, and it was amazing. We had a great time. I got my little bars for my years of service and all. We had an amazing time. I got to dress up and all that kind of stuff. You know me, I like wearing suits and ties. I like having a reason to put suit and tie on. I know you don't. If they made a suit without sleeves, he'd wear it. But
I might just make that, Eddie, for
CPAC.
Yeah, that's the one. I was drawing a blank.
Yeah. Wear a suit without sleeves is CPAC. But we had a great time, but there were many people in that room, and you could tell immediately, half the room is like, this when giving me my accolades, and the other half wasn't. And I didn't take any offense to it. It's just that I don't have any gray areas, right? I am who I am. I can love you for who you are. Listen, I got less than 20 feet away from me, on the opposite side of this wall, on this side of me, is my daughter, who I love with all my heart. I would die for her in a heartbeat. My daughter is a member of that LGBTQ plus ABCDEFG shit. So I don't mince words about it, and she knows how I feel about it. And should she ever happen to go get married or whatever, I can't be there, and that sucks. But we have accepted where each other are at this stage of our lives. She knows I anything but hate her, and I anything but hate anyone. But she knows if she asks me the question directly, what I'm going to say. Because a lot of people, even people I grew up with, used to have a lot of opinions, but now that those opinions hit home because of their own family and people they know, they change their opinions. Well, I'm sorry, you're a hypocrite. My opinion on this isn't going to change. The Bible says anyone who loves their mother, brother, or children more than me are not worthy to be called disciples. Says it in Matthew. So I learned, and through very hard times, that I will never place anybody above God. Anybody, even my children. And because of that, I'm a better father. Not a worse one, but a better one. And that's what people got to understand. I'll leave it at that. We have Joe McCoy waiting in the wings, and it's a good thing we're
Hey, you
trying
guys,
to do there.
this is a really really interesting story, and
Mhm.
I'm glad Eddie found him, and this is something that we're trying to talk about a lot right now because we found a Trump supporter who really came out hard for Trump and then was kind of abandoned in a particular way. And we're going to report the truth regardless of who it is and how it comes across, right? This is actually something that might not look great on the Trump campaign. But in all reality, what we want to do is just show the support for this patriot who came out hard for Trump. And now it kind of seems like he's been abandoned in a lot of ways. So Joe McCoy, you can we have
I
him
want to
here in
show the
person.
stuff. I want to show the
Oh,
stuff
okay.
on Joe first. So I have some pictures real quick that I want to kind of show people what Joe's been through and that sort of thing. So that's Joe. He lost his leg. He's an amputee and family man. Worked
He's a
his
pirate.
whole life as a carpenter. Bought a home. Figured he could just kick back, chill. He had a 52-foot trailer. He had it on his property. And that 52-foot trailer, it was here. I'm gonna switch the deal here. So that 52-foot trailer was there, as you see. Put the big Trump USA on it, and all the people that you can think of. I'm not saying names yet. But let me just show you something, guys. Look, see all those other things there? They're text messages. You can see they're not bullshit text messages. They're text messages to and from Joe, and they're real text messages. And I hope to God that I never ever have to show those text messages, because the people to whom those text messages belong are people that I guarantee you that you all respect, that you all thought were patriots. You thought they would do the right thing and stand by Joe and stand by America First ideologies and do what's right. But they didn't. Joe stood up for Trump. He put that truck up in front of his house. He let his son paint it, got all over the newspaper, got a ton of press from it. And everybody trying to get elected or trying to run for office came down, took pictures with him, grifted off of him, told him they would do certain things for him when Trump got in office. Don't worry, I'm going to get your issue in front of Trump. I'm going to help you. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Time came for all that to happen. Joe's like, okay, what now? They blocked him. He can't text them. He can't get on their web pages. He can't go to any of the pages and talk about the things that happened, and they made sure of it. Well, guys, we have a much larger reach, and we're not going to be so quiet. And if I have an opportunity to, which I know I will, either at the inauguration, at CPAC, to talk to some people about this situation, and I plan on doing just that. So with no further ado, if you want to bring Joe up, looks like he jumped in here twice. So either which one you want to bring up.
Boom.
There you
Got him.
go.
Oh,
Joe, how are you,
Hi
brother?
guys.
So Joe, so far we have raised.
Doing all right. How you doing, Maurice?
I'm doing quite well, brother. I'm glad that we got you on tonight.
Hey, I'm having a hard time with the audio.
It's all right. As long as you can hear us even a little bit and understand what we're saying, you're good, brother.
I don't know.
Can
if
you hear us okay?
I can hear a little bit. Let's rock.
Okay. So long as you can make out what we're saying, we're good. So Joe was right now we are in the middle of a fundraiser. And the fundraiser is, you can get to it at givesendgo.com/Joe. I'm going to put that fundraiser in. I'm going to ask that someone pin the post. And while we're doing this, guys, it's Christmas time. And he's a patriot. He's a Trump supporter. He's a MAGA guy. He's an America First guy. He fought hard for Trump. If you have the ability to give $5 or $10, that's all we're asking. $5 or $10 for as many. We have 3,000 people and growing watching this podcast. If each of you gave $3 each right now, we would be over our goal. Over our goal. So that's what we're asking, guys. A couple of dollars, and this guy can save his house. 2 years of his he owes on back taxes on his home because he's drained his savings and 401k fighting this case. But I'll let Joe tell his story. Go ahead, Joe.
Hey, I want to first let you know I've got tinnitus, been playing the drums, and I got a lot of ringing. That's why I probably can't hear you, but I'm ready to tell the story what happened to me.
Go ahead.
You're
My
good.
son, Brian Bales, he was 18. First time voting, he wanted to vote for Trump. He was a graffiti artist, and with my big trailer in my yard, he said, "Dad, can I put Trump on it?" I said, "Have at it." He did an awesome job. 52 feet of Trump facing the road, letters bigger than all of us. On the back doors, "Make Trump Great America, Make America Great Again, Trump 2016. And then the biggest newspaper in New Hampshire showed up, the Concord Monitor, Ray Duckler, interviewed us, put us all over the front page. Millions of people, they loved our Trump sign. Millions loved it. And when it started coming out in the stores in town, the select board didn't like it. And they told us, remove it due to complaints or pay their $500 a day fine. We refused. The town was corrupt. We fought them for 2 years. I went to their meeting. I said, "Where's the complaints? Where's the complaints?" And to quiet me down in town, because a lot of people are Trump supporters, they gave me a permit for my trailer. The only permit they ever gave anybody for any trailers. There's trailers there today, no permit, but they're not on the agenda. So after the 2 years, the board meeting, a board member writes me a letter. They never saw the complaint. And the permit's almost up 12 months. We don't want to get on your ass. That's what these select board members told me. And after that letter came to me, a lawsuit was filed. The town got caught lying under oath in deposition. They got caught ignoring, refusing to answer my right to know, hiding documents from me in court. They had a lawyer. He was unreal. But during that, he tried to get rid of my lawsuit, saying I didn't apply for a political sign. The judge said there's no such law. And then he said, "Yeah, I know the town. I practiced in town. And due to the merit of my case, this goes forward." 2 months later, he dismissed my case. And then he admitted he knew the town, practiced in town. And when I Googled him, he's got family living in town. It's all over Facebook, social media. He's friends with the select board members. So then he dismissed my case. I was in the hospital. I got out, and now I have to go to Massachusetts. U.S. District Court in New Hampshire transferred it to a United States District Court in Massachusetts. I didn't even know it was illegal until a couple, 2-3 weeks ago.
So hold up right there, Joe, for a
And
second.
they gave me 90 days to get a lawyer. It took me 70-something days. Didn't have a chance. And when I got in front of them appeals court judges, I Googled them. All of them are Democrats. They donated to Biden. Them, they did their thing, but they said, I never proved the complaints, yet the town admitted they never saw them. And then that permit they gave me, the only one in town, they said was illegal for them to give me. The judges said, I thought the permit was legal. The judges
Wow.
used the letter. The lawyer said the letter was never talked about in his legal briefs. He lied. He said nothing was ever said about Trump. He lied. To
What was
know
that?
other board members uncovered documents. I got their email. We was violated by the town, elected officials. We was violated by their lawyers. They got my lawyer this spot. He was a good lawyer. He was Ron DeSantis' best friend. And then their lawyer lies to the courts. The courts ignore all the proof and the verification that we presented to the court and dismiss my case on their appeal. And now I find out the change of venue was illegal. Every day I get up, I look for lawyers. I reach out to people. I've reached out to Trump's people. I've talked to a lot of them. They made a lot of promises. Those promises have not been kept. And everything
Not
that
just
I
that,
did,
they ignore
I-
you. That's
I
the
fought-
problem. Is
I fight, fight, fight. I fight.
and that's
We stand up for Trump. We always have since the day he come down that escalator. And Trump warned us they would be coming after us, and they did. They made me get out there during the wintertime. I got one leg. I had to get out there during the wintertime because their 12-month illegal permit ran out, and they said, we don't want to get on your ass, so get it out of there. And emptied it, gave everything to the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, and the church. They did good. And they did good. So after through all the courts, all the violations, all the corruption, the first thing, United States Supreme Court says no elected official can remove or force a political sign off private property, but they did. And then Democratic judges, they was love to see the biggest Trump sign in New Hampshire gone, out of view. Now here's the bad part. My town party, who I placed their signs in my yard, I voted for them. They all claim to use Trump to get elected, but they voted with the Democrats. I got them unelected. Democrats had to write them back in. They're the ones that did this to me and my family. And the ringleader was James Allen, and he was the New Hampshire District 13 Republican chair, used Trump to get elected. And when I went to vote, and I seen James Allen, the Democrats vote him in, and I told him, I said, you're not going to get elected. And he said, well, Trump wasn't on the trailer. He lied. I'm going to explain that. He said, Trump wasn't on the trailer when he got moved from your property. And you see this hat here? I was wearing it when I went into the vote. He told the town police it's illegal for him to go in there with that hat on, and if he does, arrest him. I cussed him out. I went in to vote for Trump anyway, and I came out. Here's the bad problem.
based.
My Trump sign that was illegally forced off my property, whistleblower called me. I love whistleblowers because they let it be known what's taking place. They called me and said, hey, you know where your Trump trailer's at? And I said, who are you? And he said, I can't tell you. But he said, it's right down the street. So I went down there. I videoed it. My biggest Trump sign in New Hampshire that was forced off my property has been hidden on a board member defendant's property. He's got an 18-wheeler trucking company, got a bunch of trailers on that property. He's not allowed but 2 by the ordinance, but those are not on the agenda. And I found my Trump trailer hid down there, and it still got Trump on it today as we talk. They came after us. We lost everything we had, violated our freedom of speech all the way from the town to the judges. We were treated just like Trump was. Unreal.
And this is
So-
the problem, and a lot of people face this issue with when you stand up for Trump, and most people haven't faced this kind of sideways attack that can happen, where all of a sudden you're the one that's targeted unfairly, and they use nefarious tactics, and then all of a sudden bury you in litigation or in court fees or in fees in general, and then all of a sudden, just because you had that giant Trump sign, which a lot of people used as photo ops and to get in front of the TV and to get publicity for themselves, and I'm talking about public figures here, they use this to enrich their own candidacy, now have blocked you, shut you out, and just let this happen, let this continue to happen, haven't spoke up about it, and just decided that, you know what, I mean, they probably... It's not probably the entire reason that they were elected. We can grant them that, but at the same time, if you're going to use somebody and then make promises, you should at least stand up for them when the very thing that you used has been used to bury someone like you. And right now you're in threat of losing your house, which is why we started the fundraiser entirely. We want to actually do everything we can to help you be able to keep it, because believe it or not, you guys, this attack can happen to any one of us at any time. I know people that will stand up and then all of a sudden just get completely buried in fees, and it is not fair. And we actually have to stand up for each other when this unjust attack happens. Doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter if you're Joe McCoy here with a big sign out in his front yard, and all of a sudden now you have over $10,000 in fees, and we should stand up for that. We should absolutely do that, because all you were doing was showing your support for our president,
Right.
and now have been unjustly and unfairly targeted because of that, in which a lot of people have used to enrich themselves. So
And here's the thing.
I hope we can raise the money for you. I
Yeah,
really do.
We you know what? Here's the thing. We got $1,060 right now, guys. We're a little over 10% of the way there.
Yep.
Like I
want to
said,
let
$5 to $10 gets you there. $5 or $10.
I want to let
is
everybody know. Yep. We're gonna fight, because that's what we're about. We are Trump supporters, and this has to be fixed. We need our freedom of speech given back to us. We need them held accountable. Nobody should have ever had to go through what we went through just because the other political party does not like you if you stand up for Trump. And they will come after you.
So here's the thing that Joe was talking about earlier, and I don't know if you caught it. So he lives in New Hampshire. I don't know how people understand how state law works. So New Hampshire has the jurisdiction for this case. They illegally switched the jurisdiction of this case to Massachusetts. So he had to go to a court in front of a judge to handle a case that was out of his jurisdiction. And when his lawyer was disbarred, that same judge only gave him 90 days to find new representation or be in default. Now, Joe doesn't have money to pay a whole new lawyer fees and everything else. So this is why he's in the position he's in. And he talked a little earlier about his trailer being taken. Now, he explained to you that he did not have, he had a permit that was given to him. And then here's the thing. The people that were on the select board, illegally, the people that were on that select board that were pushing this issue, that were trying to get his trailer taken, took the trailer off of their property and illegally placed it on their own property without permit and hid it. Now I got a video to show you that details just that.
I had the biggest Trump sign in New Hampshire, Pittsfield, New Hampshire, forced off my property due to complaints by the select board. Their complaint said, we don't know who signed it, didn't see it, and they don't know where it came from, but they used that to legally force my Trump sign off my property. Now I'm at 16 Carroll Street, 1/2 mile from my house. Whistleblower told me my trailer's down here. So if it's down here, then that means the town forced it off my property and it's down here on this guy's property. Who none of these trailers, no permits, they were okay. But Trump wasn't okay during his election. Oh, it's got a keep out sign, but I'm going in anyway. Yep, see? 16 Clark Street, H.A. Marston Incorporated. All right, Trump trailer, where you at? They told me it was forced off my property. And all these trailers are okay to be here with no permit. Buying out the rural area, not allowed. This is unreal.
And that only becomes a worry when you start speaking out. And this is why a lot of people don't speak out.
The
Is because they
trailers
know
down here,
that if they get targeted,
none of them got permits.
they're done for.
I had a permit for my Trump trailer. Wow. Look at it. There it is. My son Brian Bales painted that. That's the front of my Trump trailer. And there's, look at all them trailers, huh? Sorry about the vibration, folks, in the camera. I just got a metal leg. Yep, that's my son's. This was my trailer. And it's a 1/2 mile down past my house without a permit. It's been here since June of 2018. All right, let's see. There it is.
Wow.
Yeah,
And-
the
and,
video
you guys-
is a little bit scratchy.
That's all right.
Still
I want to
there
reiterate this point. I really want to reiterate this point in how tyranny reigns. It's because everybody does something a little bit wrong, and especially when you're standing up for a political candidate and it's going against the popular narrative, or I guess it's not the popular narrative, but the ruling powers narrative, or powerful people who don't want you to push a particular narrative. When you stand against that and you get targeted, all of a sudden, the little things that most of the time the government doesn't care about, all of a sudden they're cracking down on you, and they'll use every rule, they'll use every technicality. Tyrants are incredibly petty. And now you can see, because of something like this, where the trailers are stored with no permits, he had a permit for his, but because it says a message that they don't like, now he's being targeted. And now they know that they can shut a lot of other people up because they shut him down and made an example out of it. Well, this is one of the things that we at the Patriots Repair Network really stand against, is the collective power that we have as a society is just now starting to be realized. If Luigi, I forget his last name, can get hundreds of thousands of dollars for being an evil assassin, where he took the life of a CEO because he disagreed with some policies from the damn company, then we can stand up for this guy who was speaking out and as a patriot, and has been unjustly targeted by Big Brother, by the government itself. It is incredibly irritating to me to see just how popular these stupid left-wingers can be when they do something incredibly evil and get support for it, yet all of the good people of this nation will slowly but surely fall apart if we continue this path of we're going to be strictly individuals. Everybody needs to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. In most cases, that's true, but in some cases, we have to have each other's backs, and I believe that this is one of those cases.
Yeah, you're right. If if you got hundreds of thousands of dollars, and the left has no problem going into their pockets for something that's absolute. Listen, I'm not taking up for as far as the character of the United Health CEO. I'm not. The guy had a policy that killed people, and it's terrible that had to happen. I'm not defending that guy, but I'm telling you, it's not up to me, you, or anyone else to stand in and plot and take someone's life and then get applauded for doing it. There are other ways to go about it. But this is the thing. The left will go out there and they'll get petitions signed. They'll go out there and they'll fight for new laws. They will start grassroots movement that have transvestites in your classrooms reading to your children. They will do whatever it takes to grow their movement, and they'll stand by each other. Well, I'll tell you what, folks, if we don't start doing that, everything that you stand for and everything that I stand for and everything that we love, all of our values, we're lost. Imagine what the country looks like 2 generations from now if we don't start taking a stand now. And it starts with standing up for people like Joe. If you don't do this, come on, guys, it's literally what you pay to get coffee in the morning before you go to work. Literally like $5. If we have 4,000 people watching us right now, that would make it like less than $2 each so this man can keep his house.
And I'm going to make another post about this later as well. But
yeah, the bad thing, this happened to me and my family. It could happen to anybody's family because of the way that things been going for the last 4 years. If you're a MAGA supporter and you're known by people, your whole life changes. They don't care about it. They don't worry about it. Just as long as it's to do as we say and not what we do. And when it comes down to it, they're the ones doing that to everybody. It's unreal.
Who's that? Judges? I'm gonna have a hard time seeing it. Jules, Juls. Jules, we appreciate that, and I will reach out to you. And no, Trump personally doesn't know about it, but I'm in touch with his inauguration team, and they'll be getting PPN, the same inauguration team that sent me all these hats. And here's the thing.
I like that. Yeah, that's signed by Trump.
So we got a few, right? We got a few, and they're all signed. What I'm going to do.
They look good. I love them.
They're earmarked for certain people, but I tell you what, I'm going to give mine away. If all of the donations that are given on the page, I'm going to pick one at random. I'm going to raffle them one at random. And if we hit our goal, I'm going to pick a name from random and I'm going to give you this hat. So, guys, that's just a little incentive for you, but whatever we got to do to save this man's house, that's what it takes. That's what it takes. We'll be reporting from CPAC. We will be at the inauguration. And I'm going to do everything I can to make sure this story gets told. Now, I sent to the inauguration team people I know personally. I'm not going to put their name out there. They work directly for the Trump administration. And you guys who know us know we've been involved with the campaign from the start. We've been to several rallies. We've had members of PPN actually speak at Trump rallies. And so
if Trump knew, Trump would be standing up for us. That's what he's about.
Yeah.
That's what Trump's about.
So what I did last night was I put together a letter, and what I got given was a promise, a personal promise from his inauguration team. And I said, make sure certain people, and I listed them off. You know who they are. Yeah. I said, if they're CC'd on this email, you may get pushback. So they assured me that those people would not be in this email chain, but they're going to send out. So I sent out the newspaper article, a written story, all the pictures, and the newspaper clipping to them to show them exactly what's going on. And that was emailed out to the entire Trump inauguration team today.
And listen, so, we're not,
Eddie,
we don't.
Eddie and Maurice, I really appreciate you helping this. A lot of my friends told me to contact you because you stand up for the truth. I followed you for a while, and you guys are awesome. And everybody that helps us, me, my wife, my family, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And we will fight for our freedom of speech and everybody else's until the last day I'm on this earth. But I thank you guys.
And God
Well,
bless you, Joe. And in all
uh,
reality, we're just trying to do what's right. And
You guys are awesome.
we don't if you guys can't donate any money, because I know that a lot of people are struggling financially. I've gone through my bouts of that. I mean, still we live a little bit better than paycheck to paycheck. It's the first time in many, many years where I've been at a point where I'm not going, negative every other account. But if you cannot donate, please at least share this. I'm going to clip this and put it out for people as well to try and spread the word, because in all reality, you guys, we just need to get the word out, and there's going to be a lot of support. I know that there's a lot of people out there that can donate, that can help, that would want to support if only they knew about this story. So if you can't donate, please at least share this podcast and share the comments. Follow my X page, because I'll be putting a couple more posts out there later as well at La Native Patriot. Same thing with Eddie at the Patriots Pray. I put if you guys are on my X page, it's in the first comment below. Eddie has a story here. Joe, I want to thank you for coming on. We're going to try and get the word out and try and get as many people to support you as you can. I think what you did is awesome. And it's the small acts of everyday American citizens that amounts to heroism. And in a lot of ways, I'm not saying that having a Trump sign in your yard is heroism, but it's the first way that we, as the average American, can speak out about who we want as our president. And if everybody's too scared to do it because they're scared of litigation, then we won't have anybody speaking the truth. So we do have to stand up for people when they get unfairly and unjustly targeted. So thank you, Joe, for coming on today. Excuse me, I'm still getting over being sick. So.
Jules, I just sent you a DM with the Give Send Go page from my page. Check your DMs, check your messages. You may have to accept it. I'm not sure where the DM went because we haven't communicated before, but I just sent it to you. I've contacted everybody. I have a couple of names here. Believe me, I got some contacts in the media. I'm going to be calling them as well. So we're going to do everything we can to get as much press coverage on this as possible. We don't have a direct line to Charlie Kirk, but we do have a direct line to the TP Action Committee, which may have a direct line to Charlie Kirk. So that may be an avenue we'll try.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey,
and
thank
do
you
everything
guys.
we can. So
For me and my wife and my son, from the bottom of our hearts, I appreciate everything you did, and everybody have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, because next year is going to be the best ever.
That's right, brother.
Good night,
absolutely
guys.
right.
January can't get here fast enough. Have a good night, Joe. Great guy, man. Fighter.
He's awesome. Yeah,
How
absolutely.
can you keep a good attitude not knowing whether or not you're going to have your house tomorrow? And that's how dire the need is. There, he said, to a point right now, Maurice, where it's like he's not waiting for the day. Like they can come and force this right now. So it's so dire that we get the money now. Like the amount of time we took when we sent Holden to the Super Bowl, we had over a month to do that. We don't have that here, guys. We don't have that kind of time. So we raised over $1,000 in a day, and someone just gave 25 more. Thank you to whoever that was. But we don't have that kind of time to wait.
You're being entered to win that hat too. So there's an additional bonus that we're trying to get out as well to get one of those Donald Trump signed "Make America Great Again" hats. So it is Give Send Go / Help Joe. So it's not a Venmo or anything like that, but I think you can give with Venmo. I'm not exactly sure.
You can pay with like PayPal and that sort of thing, but it doesn't go into PayPal. If you go to @thepatriots_pray and you want to PayPal me, I'll donate it in your name. It's fine. And I'll put your name in the hat for the running for the hat. So if you want to do that, that's fine. I absolutely have no problem with that. And there's a lot of people who gave anonymous man. And I love you guys that do that, because you're saying that I want to do this from the bottom of my heart and I don't want any recognition for it. And the guys who do that, man, really, we do appreciate you. But if it takes the incentive of giving away these, and I don't want to see these hats on eBay either. They're like worth money. So listen, win the hat. I promise that I will draw from the list of people who gave. And, I mean, dude, nothing could be better this Christmas than saving this man's house. Nothing. And I'm telling you, it's going to get national media coverage. It's going to be in newspapers. We're going to do our best to get it on TV in front of everybody. And we got enough contacts. Maurice and I have been on Newsmax. I got all their producers' phone numbers. I got all that stuff. And I even have more. I have a whole desk.
I don't know if I do. I try not to save people's numbers.
I save everything.
If I save people's numbers, then I have to answer when they call me. If it's an unknown number, I don't answer. But yeah, we're going to get this out there. We're going to do everything we can to spread the word and help this guy out, especially this Christmas season. You know, if you're feeling in the giving spirit, give $5-10. GiveSendGo/Help Joe. Not Joe Biden. This is Joe McCoy we're talking about here. Big old Trump supporter, American. And like I said, hopefully we can do this for him. God bless you guys. Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to work on those posts. Follow me at La Native Patriot. That's LA Native Patriot on X. Don't forget to follow Eddie here. I can't really. At The Patriots Pray on X. God bless you guys. God bless America. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Cowboys and Indians, even though this time it's just Indian. And take care. God bless. See you guys later.
Have a good night, guys.
Dusty plains and broken dreams. Cowboys and Indians on the same team. We got no masters, only our creed to break the chains and set us free. Riders on the prairie, wild and free. Bows and arrows, cold 45s decree. No more tyranny, no more lies. Under open skies we rise. Fight, fight, fight till we reclaim the night. Cowboys and Indians in the blazing light. Fight, fight, fight till the dawn is near. We'll never live in fear. On the blood moon, we all unite. Horses thunder in the night. No longer slaves to the empire's might. Strength in numbers, strength in rise. On the blood moon, we unite. Horses thunder in the night.
There it is. That's cool, man. What a cool guy, dude. I really, I really want to save this guy's house, man.
I agree.
So I do got Joe Gizzy's number here from
Hold up.
Newsmax.
It says we're still live.
Are we?
That's what it says.
Well, then everyone knows I'm being
Oh,
legitimate. Then.
I can't end the stream. It's not letting me.
I have the power. Here we go. Guys, have a good one.
All right, we're just staying on, I guess.
It's stuck. Weird.
All right, looks like we're just never ending. We got to stay on until it goes away. I wonder if people can. Oh yeah, no, it's definitely still live. Wait, did it start again?
Oh, it's because
No.
of the mass log out. All you got to do is leave the studio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, guys, have a great night, man.